Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We're here at Hackney Wick for the final press conference for Hamza Sheeraz versus Liam Williams. Goes down on Saturday night at the Copper Box, live on TNT. Joined by the hype man himself.
There is. Look, you said it, the hype man himself. Look, I'm loving this drink. I've had too many today, but it's a very good drink. And this is a very good show on Saturday night. Queensberry's first of 2024. And so many questions, Joe. How good is Hamza Sheeraz? I don't know. We're going to find out on Saturday, because if Liam Williams is still that same fella that used to knock everyone out, Hamza's got a bit of a problem. So as you casually crack open your hype as well done, Joe, picking it up.
Well, last time I spoke to you, you weren't actually sponsored by Hype, and now I believe you actually got the deal. So you must have done such a great job at unofficially hyping them up, pun intended.
Hey, look, I'm the hype man, okay? But yeah, look, it's a good drink. They've sent me plenty, and I'm enjoying my relationship with these wonderful people.
Did I hear someone over there call you the face and voice of British boxing?
Horrendous thing to call me. Yeah, I mean, I'll get that cut out, to be fair. You can't be going with that. If it's the voice of boxing, it's a very annoying voice. If it's the face of boxing, it's relatively handsome, but still a bit annoying.
Okay, yeah. You're halfway there, I think, mate. Oh, you're halfway there. Yeah, maybe one day. But yeah, let's talk about the main event then. A lot being spoken about Hamza Sheeraz's potential on the Matchroom versus Queensberry card, which we'll come on to later. But you can't overlook Liam Williams. What was it you called him? An old war dog, was it?
No, Francis called him a war horse, something like that. What I referred to him as was a Welsh dragon still looking to breathe fire into the middleweight division, which I was pretty happy with. But yeah, look at his Instagram, look at his training videos. These look like videos from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, this guy was a real problem. 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, he was a real problem. These look like old videos, but they're not. He's been training very hard. He's back with Gary Lockett. Back where it all started, that same team, that same dream, and he looks like an animal, and he's fired up. You saw him at that presser, he's fired up. He don't care about these odds from Unibet, shout out Unibet. He doesn't care about all of these odds. He thinks he's going to come in and do a job on Hamza Sheeraz. He thinks it's too soon for Hamza Sheeraz. We'll find out. But I think the other thing is, people have been talking about his punch resistance. He doesn't buy into any of that. He thinks, look, I had a few problems going into the Eubank fight. Crack on, go and read into that if you like. Let's see how it holds up on Saturday night. Can't wait to find out, honestly. Such a good fight to start the year.
Matchmaker's hat on now. Who would you like to see him fight if he were to be on that Matchroom v Queensberry card?
What, Hamza?
Yeah, which middleweight?
Yeah, I said this the other week. I think he'd beat all their middleweights. If they got Amo Williams and Felix Cash, they're both terrific fights. But also, look, if he does a job on Liam Williams, if he knocks out Liam Williams, Eubank Jr. didn't do that. He starts getting the attention of guys like Eubank Jr. If he says, look, I just did what you couldn't do, I'd love that fight. What a fight that is. That would be terrific. Or even, you know, who else you got? Liam Smith. Liam Smith's out there as well. There's Nathan Heaney for the British title. So, of course, there's the 5 versus 5. That all sounds very, very attractive, and he'd be brilliant in that. But there's great fights for him here in this country as well. Chris Eubank Jr. would be the pick of the bunch, and he could put himself in the frame for that fight if he does a demolition job on Liam Williams. Much easier said than done.
Anthony Yarde returns on this card. Big year for him. Great start. Well, I say great start. It was a great in defeat, if you know what I mean, last year. But his stock risen completely after that Beterbiev win. Then kind of trailed off towards the end. He had one fight, the comeback fight, but this has got to be the big year for Anthony Yarde, doesn't it?
I feel like his stock has never been higher than it is right now, because things have played out. We've seen that brave effort against Beterbiev. Oh, what a fight, honestly. Probably the fight of the year last year. Certainly the best fight that I was in attendance at. Unbelievable. And the way he pushed him back, the bravery he showed in that fight, the fact that it took, you know, Tunde throwing in the towel and he was still swinging. You know, we then saw Callum Smith. Credit to Callum Smith, because he also was still swinging and he had to have the towel thrown in. But it feels like Yarde, No. He had more success, didn't he, against Beterbiev. So his loss there has kind of aged well. So I think he's in a position now where people see him as the best light heavyweight in the country, and the threat to that, Joshua Buatsi, coming off a brilliant win over Dan Aziz, looked good in that fight, feels like a really good fight to make. I'd love to see that fight. Buatsi's been talking about Yard. Yard's been talking about Buatsi. The fans have been talking about the fight for years and years and years. Let's see it. Let's get on with it.
You talk about big domestic fights never to happen, like FROCH Calzaghe being one of them. If this one don't happen, surely it's an opportunity missed and be a great shame.
It would be a catastrophe, Joe Pugh. If Anthony Yard and Joshua Buatsi do not fight, or if they fight too late, it would be a catastrophe. Now's the time. Those belts are tied up. I know Buatsi's won a final eliminator for Bivol, but we don't know how long it's going to take for Bivol to be available to fight Joshua Buatsi. What a wonderful fight to have beforehand. So much risk, but also so much reward. Look, I'd love to see it, and hopefully the guys can get it done. I'm hearing Buatsi's going to be in attendance on Saturday night at the Copper Box.
If Francis lets him in.
If Francis lets him in. Hopefully he's allowed in, and it would be good to get his thoughts on Anthony Yard's latest performance, get him around each other if we can. I hope we can get it done.
Excellent. And just also on the card, Masoud Abdullah versus Kes Ashfaq, that lit up a little bit on the stage there. Sam Noakes versus Luis Sylvester, that Sam always brings a little bit of, cheeky, trappy energy to the press conference. Ain't you talking about his mum like last time? But yeah, good, entertaining card from top to bottom on Saturday night.
Very much so. Let's start with Sam Noakes. He is Maidstone's answer to Artur Beterbiev. 12-0 with 12 knockouts. Who does that? Probably only Beterbiev. So he's in a great spot, but he understands that this is the toughest fight of his career. Luis Sylvester, also unbeaten, English champion. He's got Steffi Ball backing him. He's come with plenty of ambition. He's not coming here to lie down, and he believes he'll be walking away with the win and the British title. And there's 4 belts on the line, and that coveted British title is just like it's the one, isn't it? It looks so good. I can't wait to see it tomorrow. Whoever's there, Francis, whoever will be holding it up in the middle of the two guys, and it's all to play for. And Sam Noakes is a very, very likeable chap. And as you say, he just lights up press conferences like that. He's got that cheeky, chappy, kind of boy next door kind of feel to him. And exciting times for him. And with Masoud, unbeaten in 9 fights, says no one wants to fight him. Kes said yes. Ashfaq said, I'll fight you. Ashfaq believes that the losses he has on his record shouldn't be losses. He thinks he won those fights. So he's going into this fight with an unbeaten fighter's mentality. So in his head, it's 2 unbeaten fighters. Can't wait to see who wins.
Haven't spoke to you since the postponement of Fury Usyk. Go back to last Friday. How gutted were you when you heard the news before it was rescheduled anyway?
Yeah, I was gutted. I got the phone call about it. I was because I would have been heading out on the Sunday, so in a few days' time. Frustrating, but it's boxing. It happens.
Kind of annoyed at the backlash of Tyson Fury. Do you think it was a little bit unjust?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly unjust. But listen, Tyson's in a place where, in some fans' eyes, he can do no right. If he'd have beaten Alexander Usyk and become the first undisputed champion of the 4-belt era, the fans that are criticising him now for pulling out of this fight, rightly, they would still be criticising him. They'd be saying Usyk was too old. If he then went on to beat Anthony Joshua, they'd be saying, oh yeah, but he wouldn't have beaten Anthony Joshua back then. These guys probably criticised him when he dethroned Vladimir Klitschko in Germany. Sometimes you just have haters, and you could do no right in the haters' eyes. He's got people that don't like him. He's just got to crack on and do what he does. What he does has led to him being the lineal, unbeaten world heavyweight champion, a 2-time world heavyweight champion with 0 defeats on his record, by the way, a multi-millionaire about to head into the biggest fight of his life. Fighters get injured, fights get rescheduled. It's boxing.
Taking away the aspect of you obviously working for Queensberry and having an affiliation to Tyson Fury, just as someone who knows their boxing, what would you say to people who are alluding to him cutting himself or faking the cut? Yeah, what would you say to those people?
There's nothing you can say to those people. I don't.
Lost cause.
Yeah, I mean, if you're genuinely thinking that this man is going into a room and then just let me get out of this massive payday in the biggest fight of my life. Let me just get out of this. It is mental. So let them crack on. It is buffoonery, and it's been amusing. But as I say, these kind of people who are making claims like this, they actually can't have their mind changed. So it's like that thing about arguing with idiots. You can't argue with idiots because you sort of end up lowering yourself to their level. So let them crack on.
Just last one on Tyson Fury. Did you see Simon Jordan's article on Tyson yesterday?
I actually haven't. So what's he said?
I'll just read you the headline. I know I shouldn't really read headlines, but I haven't got time to read a whole Mail Online article. Why are falling out of love with Tyson Fury? Simon Jordan on the box's stupid behaviour and beware of his fanatical entourage. Are you part of that fanatical entourage, Dev?
What I would say is that Simon Jordan there is very cleverly talking about the biggest star in boxing and generating clicks and generating views. So he's done a sensible thing there. If he wants to get some attention, talk about someone like Tyson Fury and you'll get that attention. I don't agree with his views, but I'm certainly not going to go to war with him. It's the same thing as Carl Froch. He's also talking about Tyson Fury and Tyson Fury's father. Hey, everyone wants to talk about this guy. Apparently no one likes him. Hey, I think a lot of people do like him. Give him credit. He's doing a lot right now for British boxing.
Yeah, that's the last one. Who wins in a fight between Carl Froch and John Fury in front of 93,000 fans at Wembley?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where these fans are going to come from, the 93,000. Goodness me. I mean, I don't know, does Carl Froch still have that pool? Does John Fury have that pool for 93,000? Who wins the fight? I wouldn't like to say. I would imagine I'll probably see John Fury before I see Carl Froch. So Big John Fury probably finishes him 3-4 rounds, I reckon. Come on, Big John. Come on, Big John.
What do you think would actually happen? Like, genuinely, if obviously they're not going to fight each other, I'd be very surprised if they do. But kind of like, remember when John Fury and Carl Frampton bumped into each other? If they did bump into each other, because Carl Froch, I don't think is the type of guy to back down. Yeah,
well, neither's Big John Fury, but I would imagine that sensible heads would prevail around them, unless they're just alone together and suddenly start fighting. I don't think that's going to happen. There will be entourages discouraging them from fighting. I'm sure you'll be there with your camera, encouraging them to fight.
Always.
Look, I don't know what would happen. Some of the faces you pull when you get these incidents, by the way, I've seen them at Misfits, you're like, all of that. There's your thumbnail, by the way. But yeah. No, I don't think they'll fight, Joe. And it would be a shame to see them fight.
Not for me, but last one, a little bit of a challenge. 5 words and 5 words only to sell this fight on Saturday night.
Unbeaten, hungry lion, biggest test.
Well done, mate. People think I'll prep you on that, but I actually didn't. Dev, thank you very much for being to IFL TV, and I'll see you soon, mate.
Believe the hype, by the way.
Believe the hype. Not just hype, man. Cheers, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.